Hello, what's happening everyone? William Johnson here, and this is another tutorial on bongos. This is a continuation of the previous lesson where I talked about a rhythm that was inspired from an iconic song, Midnight Rider by the Allman Brothers. Now, I'm basically taking inspiration from the rhythm, but we're not doing Midnight Rider. We're just taking ideas from rhythms as such. So, for some fun, in this particular video, I created a track that is different. It is from that particular song. It's kind of like Midnight Rider meets 1980s Sheila E. Prince, you know, with the processed kit. You'll see what I mean here in a minute, or you did when you first clicked on the video. So anyhow, I realized in the previous video, I probably didn't do as good a job as I could have in really explaining this groove. It's a very simple groove. It's basic, but it's complex in the way that you feel it, and that's where it's at. So if you haven't seen the video, check out the video before this one, rhythm number 2, bongos in pop. So here's the rhythm. It goes basically like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the rhythm, and I'm going to break it down note for note, and then we're going to play it together with the track. And that's one of the things that I realized I didn't do, and I probably should have in the other video, was created a little track or played a hi-hat someone mentioned. Thank you so much. Shout out to you for making that mention. I've done that in the past, and I think that's probably really helpful to hear what I mean by when I say that we're playing these notes around the snare drum. So to actually hear where the snare and the bass drum are at, I think will help. So the very first note that we're playing is a muted note on the smaller drum. 1 on the and of 1. 1 E and. So 1 E and. All right. Then the next 2 notes, because really this is a series of 3 notes for the whole rhythm. The next 2 notes are 2 open notes on the bigger drum of the bongos. So 1 E and 2 E and then 3 E and 4 E and that's the whole rhythm. So you have a muted note, and what I'm doing is I'm coming down with the fleshy part of the other side of my knuckles in the hand, and I'm not letting it ring out. Also, if you've seen the previous video, then you know that my bongos are tuned lower than they would be in a traditional Cuban context, like a salsa or son, because I'm emulating what the congas might do. So, you know, it might sound nice, pitching them up higher, but for this particular style, we're using lower bongos. All right. So first note, muted, not letting it fully resonate, and I'm playing with the sound that I want to get out of the drum, almost like a bad slap on the congas, but it's a muted tone, right? It's a little bit of a pop, but it's not, okay, a slap. It's not that slap. It's not this slap. Okay, it's not this slap, close slap, but it's a muted, and it's somewhere in between the slap and a muted note, so it's kind of sharp. And then the next 2 notes are and of the and of 2 and the and of 4. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and okay, so muted, open, muted, open, and that's the whole rhythm right there. And the idea is where we place them, and we are placing them around where the snare, right before the snare on beats 2 and 4. So 1 E and pa, 3 E and pa. So the snare is coming on beats 2, 1, 2, 3, ka, and you'll see that in the track, or hear that in the track. And then I have some variations that I've spoken about more in depth in the previous video. But the main idea here is that the variation, or the fill, is playing on the and of. So the main idea is that this fill is playing on the and of 4, and they're 16th notes. So they're 4 E and 1, and right on the 1. And then we come back on the and of 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4 E and 1 and. Okay? So instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4 and coming back over here on the and of 4, I just stay right here. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1 and then back on the end of 1 right here. Okay, so go to the previous video where I talk about that fill more in depth and explain it. But for this particular video, I just wanted to have some fun and play this track with you so you can see this rhythm in context. And it's kind of a funky context, like a classic rock type vibe. Yeah, I guess classic rock meets 80s pop meets funk. It's a fusion, right? It's a fusion of different things going on. But we're taking a simple groove and our own ideas and creativity and, you know, seeing what we can come up with. All right. Hopefully this helps out. Let me know in the comments, and God bless you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you, and I'll see you soon.